Okay. The way this documentary got started was that Amos calls me up one day and he tells me that a friend of ours, mom passed away, and both Amos and I have experienced losses in our lives, significant losses in our lives, and so we kind of got to talking about it, and I decided to give my friend a call, and his mother's passing was so recent that we didn't have a long conversation, but we had a fairly brief conversation, wishing him my condolences, and it had happened, so recent for him that he was still in that kind of surreal, moment of it all, and so we didn't talk too much, but I told him I loved him and I wanted, and I'd be there for him. So then, after I get off the phone with my friend, Amos calls me up again, and we both experienced loss, significant loss in our lives, and so we just get to talking about just death, and the death of a spouse, death of a parent. My mother had passed away, and just the dynamics of that and how that affects the family and the human beings that are affected. And then we hang up, and then he calls me again, and he says he has an idea, and his idea was to basically pretty much do this. This is what we're doing right here. Is do a documentary about the Haitian immigrant story. Basically telling our story as Haitian Americans and our parents' stories as either first generation as Haitians to come here directly, or the grandparents that came here. And so, we figured we'd both, tell our own, talk about the people in our own families, these immigrants who've had a profound impact on our own lives. And so the person I chose was my aunt, who's 94 years old. She came here in the late 60s, and the mid to late 60s, and just listening to her sometimes talk about her story and how she made it to America is just fascinating, and just how almost lucky, the luck of it all is unbelievable, and almost scary in a sense of how easily we could have not have made it. My family could not have made it to the States. And so we decided to do this, and I decided that I wanted to interview her. So this is my great aunt, Gabrielle Georges. Thank you. Okay.